How's it going, Rogues Gallery, and welcome to another Gundam card game video here on Red Zone Rogue. Today we have the biggest ban and restricted update we've had yet for the Gundam card game. In fact, maybe one of the biggest ones that Bandai has ever done. It's one of the most drastic ones that I've seen, and I cover a lot of different games, mostly not Bandai TCG, so saying that across the industry is kind of a big deal. So we got a lot of stuff to talk about. We have like basically choice restrictions. We have the first ever just straight up ban. We have restriction to the number of grunts you can play in your deck. So without further ado, let's go ahead and we'll go into our overlay and get into it. Before I do that, I just want to give a huge shout out to our Gundam card game sponsor, Fantastic Realms. They're absolutely fantastic. I have a link in the description down below. Without them, a lot of this content would not be possible. So shout out and thank you to them. So let's go ahead and start talking about this ridiculous ban list. It's good, but it's a lot. All right, and here we have the ban list, and I think I'm actually going to read through what they have to say here. Let's kind of shrink the margins just a little bit because it's important. There's a lot of context that goes into this. I know a lot of folks who are playing the Gundam card game right now competitively are pretty unhappy with how things are. The meta has been pretty blue-purple dominant for quite a while, and there's a lot of just, no-brainer, aggro decks that just run a lot of grunts. If you're a regular here on Red Zone Rogue and you don't watch a lot of other content, you might not notice. I just don't talk about that a lot. I just don't find it interesting talking about blue-purple or these just like, 20 grunt decks. I typically cover a lot of off-meta decks. So if you like the stuff on the channel, hey, that's cool. This is good for us because this is going to help us quite a bit, at least competitively speaking. We, the Gundam card game developers and management team, have been keeping a close eye on the Gundam card game meta on a daily basis to ensure that playing the Gundam card game, man, they said Gundam card game so many times in the first line, remains an enjoyable experience for all users. After much testing and deliberation, we would like to use this opportunity to announce several new updates to the banned and restricted list. First of all, I think it's good that they are doing this, keeping an eye on everything and adjusting as they, deem appropriate. So here's the ban and restricted cards. Gundam card game rules permit up to 4 copies of cards with the same card number to be included in a deck, but there are occasions, such as official or sanctioned tournaments, when certain cards will be designated as banned or restricted. Oh, this is just talking about what banned and restricted is. Yeah, some cards will be banned, which means you cannot play them. Some cards will be restricted, which limits the number of them you can have in your deck. I'm not going to go over this again. One important thing to note is the dates here. So this BNR will go into effect on July 24th, which is in about almost exactly 2 weeks from today. So keep that in mind. All right, let's talk about the ban cards. So first up, we have straight up banned, we have Anksha. This is the first 100% fully banned card. And I know my regions cut off the words here just a little bit, but we'll go over this. So, in the present meta, there are an exceptionally high number of blue-purple decks being played that make heavy use of Anksha, and purple cards that have the ability to deal damage to enemy units, and their win percentage stands out. We're adding this card to the list as banned in order to create more diversity in the meta, reducing this unit that deals direct damage to enemy units. I would have liked a little bit more information on why this one specifically. And I think there are a lot of other cards that could have been chosen. I imagine they chose this one and not something like the LR Barbatos, because that one is an LR, has more value, more exciting to play. It's easier to ban a common like this, though this one does affect other decks that run this card. This is not something that's only played in blue-purple. A lot of decks like to run Anksha, even though I don't play it quite as much. So, yeah, that's the first ban. Anksha, no, you can't play it in decks or sideboards. I like how they include sideboards. All right, restrictions. There's no restrictions. However, there kind of are. This is a little bit of a misnomer. Corsica base will still be restricted to 2. This is just banned. We also have choice restrictions, multiple choice restrictions, and then like a grunt restriction. So for the folks who just want all the information, that's all the information. But let's kind of dive into it now. All right. Starting with this current update, we're introducing a new banned pair category. This is something that Bushiroad already does. They have, basically, we call it choice restriction in Bushiroad. It means you can only choose to run one of them in a deck. You can't run both. The banned pair category is meant to prevent 2 cards, A and B, from being used in the same deck at the same time. This category will enable additional fine-grained tuning of the meta as it becomes as it welcomes more mobile suits and pilots from numerous titles and a growing variety of card combinations. I would like to see them just print new cards with new effects rather than printing the same card with a new name and a type. But alas, here we are. So the first choice restriction is Gun Tank and the Stray Shrike. These are basically the exact same card, except one of them is Earth-fed white-based team and the other one is Orb. They're both level 2, 1 cost 1/2s, and on deploy you choose a rested enemy unit and do 1 damage to it. They don't want you running 8 of these. Sure, I can get this. I think this card's great, obviously, and it sees a lot of play. Not just in blue-purple decks, but I run this in a lot of my own decks that aren't blue-purple. So the card listed above have the same abilities and stats, and they were designed to produce synergy among cards with their respective traits. However, as with the argument for banning Anksha, the win percentage of decks using multiple cards that have the ability to deal damage to enemy units has exceeded our expectations. Therefore, we are adding these 2 cards to the list as a banned pair. Sure. Okay, so you can only run 1 of these. You can choose one or the other. Next, we also have Amuro Ray and Mikazuki. This completely guts the current blue-purple as it stands. Will it survive going forward? Yeah, maybe. There might be a different version that maybe doesn't run Amuro or doesn't run Mikazuki. We'll see. But currently, now you cannot run Mikazuki and Amuro in the same deck. So it says blue-purple decks capable of using these 2 cards in unison are extremely proficient at dealing with enemy units, and the number of these decks being played, as well as their win percentage, is exceptionally high. We're adding these 2 cards to the list as a banned pair in order to rectify the situation and create more diversity in the meta. Yep, so yeah, they're basically just hitting blue-purple pretty specifically with these. Next is the most interesting one, and the one that I'm unsure of the most. So what they're doing here with all of these, basically any of the grunts, so what I call grunts, so the level 2 1 cost 2/2s with no abilities, they're making it so you can only play 1 of them in your deck. So a full playset. So technically 4, but only 1 type. That's it. So let's talk about it. So it says, all combinations of cards that match the above description, a unit card that's level 2 with a cost of 1, 2 AP, 2 HP, and without effects is included as banned pairs. No more than 4 copies of 1 card matching the description can be used in a deck. Additionally, matching cards printed in GDO5 and after will also be added to the list. So yeah, you can only run 1 grunt in your deck. Now this does not include ones with effects, right? It's only the blank generic ones. And this is to prevent people from just jamming like a million of these, right? Because if you wanted to play blue, you have the Hyzak and you have the Javelin from GDO5, and you have the Gem, and you have the Nemo. You can just run like a bunch of them. And it's very good with the way that damage works in Gundam to your opponent. All you need to do is hit them for at least 1, and it will deal damage to their shields after you destroy their base. So that it just makes these kind of cards extremely efficient in attacking. Makes aggro really good. And because removal in Gundam is really bad, I think that's one of the actual key problems here. I haven't really talked about it too much because I don't like complaining and just ranting about things. But I genuinely think one of the problems that Gundam has is that the removal is extremely bad when compared to other games similar to this. Gundam basically took its combat system directly from Shadowverse Evolve, but they didn't take the removal, and Shadowverse Evolve has much better removal. There's generic neutral cards that you can run in any deck. 1 cost, deal 2 damage to a unit, right? And then for Gundam, that is color locked, and it costs 2, so it's double the cost and color locked. So just the removal in Gundam is generally really bad compared to other games with almost identical mechanics. And then you compound that with the shield mechanic, it just makes it aggro very, very strong. Shadowverse has a typical just life number, right? So let's see what they have to say. In the present competitive environment, there's a lot of importance attached to the efficiency of destroying enemy shields and achieving a quick conclusion. And we recognize that decks with a focus on deploying many low-cost units are being constructed to produce these results. Fast-paced decks employing a large number of cards matching the description, Grunt, are particularly powerful, and any opponent who lacks an effective strategy against them will have no choice but to accept the undesirable game outcome. I actually attack my current favorite deck against a lot of these decks. I can just mop up a ton of these little grunts. Such situations are at odds with the game experience we hope to provide. We're adding these cards to the list as banned pairs to support Diversification of deck construction and adoption promoted by the previously mentioned ban cards and restrictions, thus providing a meta that encourages more deck variety. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It's pretty harsh. Just being like you can only run one. But I mean, I guess you got to do what you got to do. In regards to the present game meta within the fast-paced blue, purple, and blue, green deck, so it's basically talking about Blurple, which I honestly don't like that name at all. We have Blurple and the 1 Year War decks have strength advantage. We believe the game rules themselves may be a contributing factor. Okay, so this is really, really important. We believe the game rules themselves may be a contributing factor. Exactly like I was talking about, the fact that anything that pokes the shield for one immediately blows it up. We're looking closely at a possible fundamental rule change. Fascinating. However, because such rules cannot be rushed, we're making this current revision up to the banned restricted list as a temporary measure to rebalance the game meta for the time being. This is fascinating. I'm really curious what they're going to do for this. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of options they could do. They can make it so you have to hit the shields twice before they burst. You can make it so that shields inherently deal 1 damage or damage back. I don't like that one, by the way. I don't think that's an elegant way to do it. It's interesting. This is quite fascinating. As someone who genuinely enjoys the Gundam card game and enjoys playing a lot of like rogue decks, I'm very interested and possibly concerned about this. We'll see what they do, but yeah. Ooh, also, we recognize 2 of the cards matching the description are included in the Iron Bloom starter deck, and players will still be able to use this deck in official sanctioned tournaments so long as no changes are made. I think it's because there are 2 in Iron Bloom. There's 2 grunts, right? There are 2 grunts in the Iron Bloom deck, right? It's the Tekkadan one and the Gallarhorn one, I'm pretty sure. Right? The Grays custom and the Grays? Yeah, ST5, yeah. Well, interesting. Well, so, what do I think about this? Yeah, I mean, I think this is, I don't want to say a long time coming, but I think it makes a lot of sense. And the Gundam card game competitive meta was becoming stale. We did see a lot of these decks just being overly prevalent, and it led to a lot of people, especially the more competitive-minded players, who aren't exactly like me, who just genuinely love Gundam and love building all of the cool, flavorful, different decks because you just like Gundam. The people who just cared about competitive decks and competitive viability, I did see, maybe those people were looking at other things to play, other games to play. So I think these changes are generally very good. I hope that this helps to direct the game design going forward and maybe print a little bit of variety in their units. Man, the Gundam card game design team really likes printing the same unit with like a different name and different trait. Like there's a lot of almost functionally the same stuff, right? So we have also like the Rezel likes, the level 3 2-cost 4/3s with no effects. And I'm curious to see if they start actually printing more stuff with actual effects. We'll see. We'll see where they go with this. At least at like common, uncommon. We're starting to see a couple more like low cost LRs with set 5, but this is fascinating. I generally think these are really good changes, and I think we will see a significant change to the competitive meta with set 5. For folks like me who really like to play these off-meta decks, this is great news. This is fantastic news. But we'll have to see how things shake out. I mean, obviously, no blocker cards got hit with this ban list, so I think the immediate knee-jerk reaction is that, hey, blocker strategies are going to be very good, and I don't disagree with that. I think blocker strategies will be very good, but my hope is that aggro still is fine, and that mid-range starts becoming, more and more playable. So we'll have to see how things shake out. I genuinely very much love this game, and I want it to like flourish and do well. Gundam's huge part of what I do here on Red Zone Rogue, but also just a part of my life. So anyway, let's go back to our me here in the studio, and then we will close out the video. All right, back in the studio. I'm very curious, what do you all think about these changes? Let me know in the comment section down below. It is very, very interesting. Was it too much? Was it too heavy-handed? Should they have just, you know, maybe made it so you can run 2 grunts in your deck, maybe 1 of each color? I don't know. They just doing the just only 1 is very, very interesting. I mean, for me personally, for a lot of my decks, I just only run 1 unless I'm doing like super aggressive, which, you know, it's only like my Xeon deck really. So yeah, I'm curious to know what everyone's opinions are. I am recording this the day of, but I know some of the other content creators pump this video out like, I don't know, like, you know, 30 minutes after the announcement. But I had a nice lunch and a nice breakfast. It was good. It was good. So let me know what you think about this in the comment section down below. I'd be very curious to know your thoughts and opinions. And if you are excited for the new meta, I definitely am. I mean, I'm always excited to play Gundam, and the new set looks awesome. I'm about to record my my full set review, so we'll have that maybe tomorrow. Thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate you for being here. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Check out our sponsor, Fantastic Realms. We'll see you next time.